Hi, I'm Abby West, a product manager at Looker, and I'm here to demonstrate some of the most useful features we've shipped in our last 3 releases. Watch the bar on the side of the screen to see which release each feature was shipped in, and be sure to match the functionality you're looking for to the release that your instance is running. Give us a holler at support@looker.com if you'd like to upgrade your instance. All right, so turning to this dashboard, we are on a user-defined dashboard. If you're not familiar with the term, a user-defined dashboard is one that's built through the user interface by creating a look and adding it to a dashboard instead of by coding in LookML. We know we're on a user-defined dashboard because we're in a space. Currently, only user-defined dashboards can live in spaces. We know we're in a space because we see the name at the top of the screen, and we can see from this drop-down the other looks and dashboards that are within the space, and we can easily navigate to them by clicking through. On the dashboard itself, we can see that some rows are different heights than others. To change the height of a row, simply grab the bottom and pull up or down. We can also see a note here on this element. Add a note to an element by clicking on the gear icon and selecting Edit Note. You can define the text and choose whether the note is displayed above the element, below the element, or on hover. You can also select whether or not the text defaults to expanded. If the text does default to expanded, you can collapse it by clicking on the text and can expand it again by clicking another time. Another place where we've added collapsible text is in filter values. Say we want to filter to Kansas, Kentucky, California, and New York. Let's run this dashboard. As you can see on this element, the listeners are now running more than one line. I can click to expand, and I can click again to ensure that it collapses. Another update to filters happens in the filter and listener modal. Let's remove state as a listener from average order profit. If we want to add a new listener, you'll notice that we're only given state as an option. That's because average order profit is already listening to date above. Each element can now only listen to each filter once. By clicking on state, I automatically see user state defined as the field for that listen. That's because I've defined the model, view, and field above. Let's head back to our dashboard. Now that I have it looking just the way I like, I can now download a PDF from the gear icon at the top of the screen. The PDF includes a link back to Looker for authorized users and also gives the date and time that the data was downloaded. If I'm only interested in data from a single element, I can go to that element's gear icon and download the data there. If I scroll down on this dashboard, you may notice a new map type. Let's explore to learn more. You'll notice that there are now new maps that automatically ship with Looker: Austin, New York, and the United Kingdom. We've also made it easier to build your own custom TopoJSON files, since Looker now accepts non-geographic TopoJSONs. That means that map files don't need geographic coordinates, but can have simple XY coordinates. To learn more about building your own custom maps, head to discourse.looker.com and search for maps. There you'll find a guided tutorial on how to turn a shapefile into a custom TopoJSON. Let's head back to the dashboard to explore another element. Here we have average order profit defined as a single value visualization. If we explore, we'll notice that we now have new abilities to define the way that that visualization looks. We can add more decimal points and even add text to the element if we so choose. Let's explore the LookML to see other places where we're using this new value format parameter. As you can see, we've defined value format here under this measure, and the value format parameter replaces the previous format parameter, which used printf formatting. Value format instead uses Excel style formatting, and if you're not familiar with that style of formatting, we have a full explanation on our docs page. While the former format parameter will give you a deprecation warning when you click the Validate LookML button over here, we will still support the functionality for backwards compatibility. Another change that we've made is best demonstrated in the user's view. Let's jump into dev mode. These changes are to our tier options. Here you see age tier. I'm going to remove the style parameter for a second since that's what we're talking about. If we explore orders, where we just were and look at the average order profit that we were just exploring. Let's run it. Remember, we had $55.05. We can cut that into age tiers to see how spending breaks down by age. As you can see, this isn't particularly easy to understand. That's why we've added the new style parameter. Let's use the integer input and save our work. If we refresh in the Explore page, we will now see our tiers represented in a very human readable format as integers with the word 2 between them. Pretty easy to understand. We've also made updates to tiers that are defined as a SQL case statement. Let's look up age group here, and we'll remove age tier. The SQL case statement now executes in order, and we're more easily able to sort based on the value of a tier as opposed to its name. In the past, these would have sorted based on the alphabetic order of the word itself. Now it sorts because teen is less than 20-something, 20-something is less than middle age, and middle age is less than senior. If you'd like to see the old sorting based on alphabetics, you can add in alpha sort true. We've also made a big improvement to joins, one that solves the age-old SQL problem of inaccurate aggregates like sums, averages, and counts as a result of joined data. Called Symmetric Aggregates and available in the Labs panel in the Admin section, this feature allows you to safely create aggregates in Looker and easily brings measures through joins to use in other views. Beyond turning on the feature in the Labs panel, you'll need to declare the join relationship, like one-to-many, many-to-many, or one-to-one, as well as the join type, like left join or full outer join, for each join. There's a great post on Discourse by Looker founder Lloyd Tabb with more information. Another feature that might be useful to LookML developers is the Look Validator. But before we head over there, remember that if you want these changes that we've made to age tier and to age group to be available to the rest of the people in your company, you'll need to commit your changes here and then push to production. Now let's head to the Look Validator. We'll leave this page. The Look Validator shows us all errors in a project. You can group by error, space, or look, and you can also find and replace across looks, whether it's field name, explore name, or even model name. Now let's head to the admin panel. In addition to the labs panel that I've mentioned several times, which allows you to turn on new, more experimental options, we also have a legacy features panel, which shows you deprecated features that you can move away from towards new functionality. We've also created a PDT panel that allows you to monitor persistent derived tables within your instance. While we're on the topic of persistent derived tables, it's worth mentioning that those PDTs that update based on a SQL trigger value now refresh in the background. That means that data from the table's previous build is available to be queried during the rebuilding session. Note that this is not the case when the Rebuild Derived Tables button is pressed. That feature maintains its previous behavior and drops all existing tables while new ones are built. Finally, let's take a look at the usage panel that has recently gotten a makeover. Remember that if you explore any of these elements, it takes you to the History Explorer where you can create your own custom queries about what's happening on your Looker instance. That's all for now, but check back next quarter for updates on our next 3 releases.